But everybody come on, rockin' your body on the floor. Hey, I wanna rock that body, baby. Hey.
Hey everybody, G-Bags, Glenn Baggerly with Our City Radio, and here in Oregon, one of the most prestigious awards that can be bestowed upon you is induction into the Oregon Hall of Fame. Notably some bands such as the Kingsmen with Louie Louie, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Quarter Flash, Dan Reed, Patrick Lamb, Robbie Laws, and a dear friend of mine, Billy Rancher. And here with us right now is Andy Stokes, and we're very proud to have him. Brother, let's shake a hand, but there's a little story here. And that's why I'm wearing this Mount Hood coat. This comes from 1976 when I met Andy, and you take it from there, man. What went on?
Well, I got had a football scholarship to Mount Hood College, and moved into an apartment over on Burnside, 188th Dimension. As a matter of fact, was the name of the apartment, and he was downstairs, a neighbor downstairs,
that's where
we and my roommates were upstairs, and that's how we met, and we've been good friends ever since. So.
But you do know you taught me how to do the bump.
I taught him how to dance a little bit. Yeah, he needed to.
And you said I had it.
He had some rhythm, but a little bit had to give him something.
Yeah.
So.
Sure,
So he rubbed off all the brothers was upstairs, so we would migrate.
That's where I learned how to dance. And I lived below you guys because I could hear you dancing at night.
Yeah, we had the apartment with the black light posters and we had the reel. One side was fast and the other side was slow, and all that male stuff.
Okay.
College. My whole goal was coming out of high school was, play pro football and buy my mom a house and get married, have some kids.
And you were good. You were an extremely good football player.
And I got. We all went to the Junior College Hall of Fame also with that football team. That football team was amazing with the players we had. We did get to be rated #1 in the nation, and we won the division twice.
This is 1976 and 77, Mount Hood
75, 76 for me.
You're older.
I'm older than you.
Oh, that's why I look up to you then.
Right, and so went down to Oregon, man, and Oregon back then was, they were a struggling team in the Pac-10, so they weren't winning anything. But I wanted to go down there and try to make a name for myself, and I did really well doing spring training and everything, and hyperextended my knee a little bit, and so went through all that, and it was good times, man.
So like me, I didn't get to play Major League Baseball. You didn't get to the NFL, but you went into music.
Yeah, I lucked up into music, dude.
How old were you? Give us a timeline.
22.
First gig you did. How did it start for Andy Stokes?
First gig I did was a place out in Beaverton called the Chase Lounge.
Been there.
I was landscaping for Shiloh Inns, and we would go there on Thursday night, and have to work and kick it with the guys, have a beer here and there. And so, but I would go, and I always sang with my dad. He played a hi-fi record, the music on the hi-fi, and I would always sing around the house, and realized back then I had somewhat of a voice, but I never thought music was the last thing you would ever thought I would be doing, because I never sang in the choir. I don't know how to read music. I don't play an instrument, nothing. It's just God gave me this voice. So I'm just making up songs, singing along, ad-libbing to the DJ, and so the owner said, "Hey, why don't you do that? I'll pay you $50, do it a couple songs." I said, "Man, I'm not singing in front of nobody. I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not doing it at all." And so then Friday night, we went back out there, hanging out Friday night, and I don't know about almost midnight, and the DJ goes, "Oh, we have a singer just arrived in from Las Vegas, made his debut in Las Vegas, so, he's here at the Chase tonight. We want to know if we can get him up to sing or whatever." So I'm looking around to see who the hell it is. I didn't think it was me. And then all of a sudden they had spotlight then, Spotlight came and, hit me, and I just kind of froze for a minute, and I'm going, and I'm thinking, no, I ain't gonna do it. And then they called me up, and then my first time performing was standing on a chair in a DJ booth, making up words to a song called "Ring My Bell." And that
isn't that Evelyn King? Yeah.
I don't know who the lady was,
Yeah.
but I can't remember right now. But I started singing, and people went crazy. And so I did it for a couple months. He paid me $50 to do that, and that was my debut at the Chase Lounge. And then a guy by the name of Ben Wolf bass player from Cleveland High School, because they had a under 21 side, and so he was putting the band together, and so I joined the band with him and Regan Brothers. He played with Ben Wolf, played with Harry Connick and Diane Krall, so he's
So these are some good people.
yeah, good musicians. So we played, our first gig was a Mormon New Year's Eve party. So we played that, and so that was kind of cool. That was fun, and then the first gig downtown with Nightlife, what's the name of the band? Nightlife, and it was at O'Connor's. O'Connor's used to be down on 4th and
I remember.
I don't know if it's 4th and Alder.
Mm-hmm.
Great hamburgers, So that was the first place we played, and then after playing with them, people heard me sing, and then I started playing with, members of Shock. They asked me to come sing a few gigs, and then from there, I went to Lights Out with Jay Coder and Dennis Springer and Tony Collins, and
So when did Cooler come in?
1983.
1983.
Lights Out broke up, and then they came to ask me if I would be, what I would front their band, and I go, sure. And this whole time is like, when Cooler came to me, I had albums at home when they were in Pleasure. Cooler was it's the members of Pleasure. When Pleasure broke up, formed the band Cooler. So I got albums at home.
Now this is nostalgic Portland music,
Yeah.
folks. This is very much so.
And the first thing I said, I called home. I said, I'm in a band with people. I got albums at home with their pictures on it. So for me, I'm working at an advertising company. I'm happy. My life's good. So it's like, wow. So I worked during the week and then played on the weekend. And next thing we know, we went down to L.A. at the Roxy and performed there. And Herb Alpert happened to be, in the audience. And him and Lou Adler, who he produced the Mamas and the Papas and Monterey Jazz Festival thing. And Herb Alpert signed us A&M Records. And from there, we we went to L.A. recorded. Here I am. I'm like a kid in the candy factory, because it's like
I'm going to stop you there. Here's why, man. Folks, Andy's going to be our very first guest when we start our national show. It's going to be called Whatever It Takes. So that's part of the story. I don't want him to go too much more in depth, because now the good stuff starts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We got to keep a little.
We'll save it for the big show.
How long have you been doing this, Andy?
30 years. 30
years. So it does take 30 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah. A lot of people think it happened overnight, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. It's just, when it's your time, it's your time. As long as you're persistent, true to your music, true to your passion, and focus. It can happen. Sometimes it don't happen. This business is it's hard business.
What's for you from the beginning until now? What's been your biggest accomplishment in your own heart? Something that you?
The biggest thing was, of course, being inducted into 2 Hall of Fames. That's, with the football thing with Mount Hood,
right.
And then with the music, But I have a couple of things, I guess.
Sure.
I'm involved with this children's book.
Tell us about it.
One Night in Frogtown. It's written by, the author's name is Philip Pelletier, award-winning author and composer, producer. And it's about diversity and bullying and kids having their own voice. And he asked me, Curtis, Linda Hornbuckle, myself, Curtis Salgado narrates the book, and then Linda sings, I sing, Shannon Day sings, and this other singer out of Astoria, Heather Christie, sings on it. And it's just, to me, it's like I'm giving back, because when you see these kids, when we do these shows,
yeah,
it's totally amazing that they, we've been all over. We're getting ready, to do an East Coast tour coming up, and I get so much joy out of, being on stage and watching them kids. You go from Pennsylvania to New York to Oklahoma to Arkansas to Miami, North Carolina, and
they love it.
They love it. They know what it is. They know about it. Yes, that, and the fact that I got to, in Japan, when we toured Japan, I got to sing with my idols, George Clinton. He called me on stage to sit on stage and sing with them. They came over there. All the American bands come to see each other, so everybody came to see Kool in concert. So here's my concert, my opening night in Pickford Live Hall in Japan, Tokyo, Japan. I'm tripping because I'm in Tokyo anyway. Because I'm tripping that I'm up in Tokyo anyway. And I'm singing, and I'm walking down the street and listening to the songs in the stores and they're singing along with the, English words. It's amazing. So we do the concert. So, here I am. I'm peeking through the curtain. Oh, shit, that's George Clinton. No, that's who's that and who's that? And I'm going looking through them. So all of a sudden I got nervous, dude.
That's what I want to hear.
I said I
Butterflies,
got nervous.
nausea.
I mean nervous, to where I sat down because I got dizzy. I said, dang. And I said, Lord, if you ever going to have my voice be on, please let it be on tonight. Because I went on stage. You got Charlie Wilson of the Gap Band sitting right here. You got George Clinton and the Funkadelics and all them over here. You got the Timex Soldiers Club. The band, look at all these rumors. They sitting in front. You got Troop. The late Phyllis Hyman was sitting right there. You Midnight Star back there. I'm like, and they, so the bass player said, "Are you gonna be all right?" I said, "I just need a minute, man. I just need a minute." And I came out on stage and everything was so clear.
It worked.
It worked. It came out really good.
So you must remember coming off after that. You must have been fist pumping.
Man, I
dude,
came
it's
up.
over. It's over.
I came. The highlight of that concert was after I finished singing, Charlie Wilson ran on stage and hugged me. He hugged me and he goes, he said, "You are singing," like that. And I said, "Thank you." And I was like this, and I turned. And my eyes got about that big to see it was Charlie Wilson of the Gap Band and hugging me. And then, so I go off stage and then, everybody's congratulating me and this and that. And George Clinton came up and, so I went through the crowd and, took some pictures and hung out and just took it all in, enjoyed the moment. I enjoyed the moment over there with all these stars that I would sit at home, and look at on TV. And now I'm in the middle of them and I'm singing with them. And so we hung out, and afterwards Aunt Phyllis, "Hey, you want to hang out?" So him and I hung out in Tokyo.
It's kind of one of those moments. You could go back there right now in your mind and remember everything you did.
Every tiny mention.
The colors, the voices, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Anyway, so much.
Right now, with what you've gone through and what is going on in music now, and I don't think a lot of people really realize what's going on. If you had 20-year-old Andy Stokes standing in front of you right now as a seasoned veteran, a pro, what would you tell this guy, man? Here's what you need to do. Here's what it takes. What would you tell him?
I would say, first of all, know that's, if you're going to get into this business, know that's what you want to do. Learn as much as you can learn from every facet of it. Every facet from, to play the instrument, how to write a song, how to sing a song, studio, learn the electronics, learn how to be a producer in the studio, and learn the electronic stuff. I mean, how to play keyboard, how to mix, how to do all that. But stay true to your passion and work hard. It's a never.
There is no simple road for sports or entertainment or acting or whatever you want to do. You got to hang in there.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. All that, like what you just said, acting and music and whatever, those genres, 24/7, got to stay on it.
Right.
Got to stay on it. And have tough skin.
What are you doing right now, man? What's going on with Andy Stokes over the next couple months?
Well, I'm in the process of in doing a lot of stuff. I'm trying to, do a gospel album.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and something that I, promised my mom and dad that I would do. And
so here you are at 56 years old, coming through on something they've wanted for how long have they wanted that?
Oh, they talked to me about it a long time ago. But I came into this music not knowing anything about nothing. I'm so green. And and I owe everybody who I've ever played with. Everybody's taught me and got me to where I am today. And do it by myself. But right now I'm riding this wave. That's
You got a good wave.
I got a
right
good
now.
wave going on, and I'm trying to capitalize on it by putting some product out there, and and I said to myself, you got to get healthy. to enjoy it. You know, you got, there's health problems in the family that you're finding out about, and I just took a stand and just said, it's time for me to, I'm an athlete.
You're on a mission right now, health-wise, to get back in what you told me. You
Yeah.
want to get back into fight and Mount Hood shape. So,
Yeah.
what's your timeline? What's going on? How's it working? How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for 4 months with a trainer by the name of Tony Montgomery. He's absolutely wonderful. No nonsense, do not play type of is what I needed. I called him and I said, hey, it's time.
What were you weighing?
I started at 297.
297.
I'm about 234 right now.
And when we see you prime, what you going to be?
I'm going to be down to 195, 200.
You will.
That's my goal.
Number 32 from Mount Hood Community College, Andy Stokes. So, folks, thanks for being with us here right now. There's a lot more coming from this gentleman. He is a seasoned veteran. I love him, and he's one of the greatest musicians and entertainers and just good people ever to come out of Oregon. So check him out, Andy Stokes Band.
Thank you. See you later.
Don't you love Our City Radio, man?
I love our city radio. I think it's the greatest thing that's about to happen. Everybody stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's all I can say.
I'm going to call my relatives in England. I'm going to say go to the National Blues Station and listen to this friend of mine, okay? You cool?
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
everybody. OurCityRadio.com. Your city, your talent, our radio.
Peace.
But you know, now baby, alright. Girl, I like that thing you do. I like the things you do.